Let's explore some other modify commands. To start, I'll create some geometry to work with. Note that I have my tangent object snap turned on. Sometimes when you get into a drawing and you have, say, the tangent located very, very close to the quadrant, it's easy to make a mistake. If that becomes a problem, all you have to do is come down here, turn quadrant off, and now you don't have to worry about snapping to that quadrant anymore. The first modify command is trim. Trim removes a portion of an object. For example, I want to remove the portion of this circle that lies between these two lines. I select trim. Again, the description isn't very helpful. When it says select objects, you're going to select the objects that define the trimming boundary first. So in this case, I'm going to select the lines. Right-click to tell it I'm done selecting objects. Now I'm going to select the object to trim. If I hover over the top portion of the circle, it shows me that it will remove the top portion. If I hover over the bottom portion, it'll show me that it's going to remove the bottom portion. I want to remove the top portion. The next command is mirror. Before I do that, let me create a little bit more geometry here. Put a circle. I want to take all of this geometry and I want to mirror it about this line. To do that, I select mirror. I select the objects that I want to mirror. Right-click when I'm done. Then I specify the line that I want to mirror about. The last option is I get to choose whether I want to keep the original geometry or whether I want to erase it. In this case, I want to keep the original geometry, so I will select no. I don't want to erase the source objects. We can add in a couple of fillets. The next thing I want to do is demonstrate the offset command. I'm going to use the offset command to create an outline around this part. Select offset. Specify a distance. I'm going to choose 0.25. And then select the object to offset, and then which side do you want to offset? I want to offset to the outside, so I'll click to the outside. So now I have offset or copied this object 0.25 units to the outside. Once you've done it, the command keeps running because it's very common that you want to offset multiple items. So I'm just going to work my way around. Now, because my offset is set, the command is still running, all I have to do is click the object and the direction. So I'm going to work my way around this object, create the outline all the way around. Now let's say we want to put a square right in the middle of this object. There's a couple ways to do it. I'm going to first draw a rectangle. I'm going to draw it out here because I have no way of locating it accurately. We'll make it 0.5 by 0.5. Well, that's a little small. Let's make it 1 by 1. Now I'm going to use the move command to locate it accurately. I left this line here on purpose so I'll be able to find its midpoint. I'm going to draw a construction line across the square and use the move command to move this geometry from the midpoint of this line to the midpoint of this line. With that done, I can erase my construction lines. The next command is rotate. Suppose I want to rotate this square 45 degrees. I select rotate, the objects I want to rotate, a base point, and then an angle. Now the way I did this was problematic because the base point was not the center of rotation that I really wanted. So let me undo that. Again, we can put our construction line back in. That'll allow us to select the center of the square as a base point. Rotate the object, the base point, and type the angle 45 degrees. Press enter. Now we can remove our construction line. The next command is scale. I drew this square at 1 by 1, and now I've decided that I still think it's a little too small. So I'm going to select scale. I'm going to select the objects, base point. Again, I have the problem that I can't get the base point in the center, so I need to back up, recreate my construction line, scale, select the objects, right click, select the base point, and let's say I want to make this 1.5 by 1.5. I would choose a scale factor of 1.5, press enter, and now I have my feature. The next modify command is array. So let's say we want to draw a wheel with a bolt pattern on it. So we'll create the outside of the wheel. Maybe to make it a little more interesting, we can even use the offset command. To make it look a little bit more like a tire. And then we want to put in our bolt pattern. So we'll create a circle, make our first hole, let's make it diameter 3. Then I'm going to locate that first hole with a move command. Let's say that hole needs to be 10 units from the center. Now, of course, I could keep recreating this. Instead, I'm going to use the array command. There's two versions of the array command that we're worried about for this class. One is rectangular array, the other is polar array. We'll use a polar array. Again, we select the objects that we want to array. In this case, it would be this hole. Specify the center point of the array. Center point will be the center point of this circle. And here we can specify how many holes. This can be done up here. Let's say we want a 5-hole pattern. We can change this to a 5. AutoCAD automatically figures out that we need to have 72 degrees between holes in order to go around a full circle of 360 degrees. A full circle is certainly common, but there's no reason that we can't change this to say we want 5 holes evenly spaced about 180 degrees. You could experiment with these options on your own. We can also create rectangular arrays. To do that, I'm going to create another feature, circle in this case. I'm going to select a rectangular array, choose the object that I want to array, and now I have the ability up in the ribbon to set how many columns, how many rows. So we'll make it, say, 3 columns by 3 rows with a distance of 6 in between in the columns and a distance of 6 between the rows. Again, you can experiment with the different settings available here.